Well, welcome. Welcome to my office. I'm in Laguna Beach and I am Dr. Anita Wong. I'm a certified, board certified emergency physician and a fellow in anti-aging metabolic functional medicine. And I've seen people at their worst, and now I prevent people from becoming their worst. I see people in my office, and we still are having strict protection protocols. And I see people virtually, and I work on people's immune resilience, anti-leaking, anti-sagging, anti-loss of muscles. And my desire is to help as many people as possible. And my goal for myself and for you is to live long and die well, as unusual as that is. But anyway, what I really want to say this week is I am so blessed and I am grateful to Laguna Beach community and surrounding communities. I appreciate your continued support and your trust in me. I'm very thankful for all of those who voted for me. So this is the second year that I have was won the favorite or the best doctor here in Laguna Beach. And last year I got silver, but this year I got the best wellness treatment also. So I'm very grateful and appreciative to everyone. I'm very humbled to be the favorite. Anyway, thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone. It's really a great compliment to me, and I appreciate it. But lately I've had a lot of people ask me about Exilis versus Emsculpt for the body, and they want to know what is this. And people are starting to think about summer, and thinking about getting out since we haven't been out that much, and with COVID, and wanting to look their best. And I'm hoping that the pandemic is, at least in California, is getting better. And wanting to do something about that extra COVID-15, the extra weight pounds that people have gotten and restored themselves to their former self, and looking at different programs. And my whole program that I've developed is from my observation in the emergency department. Right? The complaints that I heard from people saying that these golden years are not golden, seeing people, my patients, I'm seeing my parents suffer from chronic illnesses and complaints of just getting older, and the acceptance that this is just the way of life, and that life is to decline, and that's what they hear from their doctors. But what I know, and experiencing and seeing different people from different people, you see different people who are aging gracefully, or those who age more rapidly. They look older than their chronological years, or there's those who seem their biological years as much younger than their chronicle years. And this is because there's epigenetics, and I love epigenetics because it means that you have control. Only 25% is your genes, and then the other 75% is what you do with it. And my goal is to have a biological age that is younger than your chronological age. So what is this thing about Exilis versus Emsculpt? And if I'm going to get back out there and go to the beach, and I want to get rid of this COVID-15, what are the things that I need to do, and what is the difference? The thing that everyone needs to know is that, yes, after the age of 20 or so, it's aging. I mean, we all know that. We have to face the fact that aging is going on. It's just how fast you're doing it. And you do lose certain things in your body. So one of the things you lose is muscle, 3 to 5% every 10 years after the age of 30. So every decade. So when you're 65, you could lose 15%. And you'll see older people who get more frail and just not walking straight and not able to catch themselves. So Emsculpt is that tool that you want to keep yourself fit, strong, vital, without steroids. You eat healthy, balanced, get the right amino acids so that you can build up your muscles. And this will maintain your weight, your mood, your sleep, and so much more. And so this is not just a aesthetics and getting a six-pack ab to the beach, or getting those biceps and triceps, good quads, glutes, having good glutes and calves. It's about maintaining your core. So what this works on, it'll keep you trim too, because it's going to melt away the internal visceral fat. This is a high intensity, low frequency, same technology as an MRI. So people are familiar with that. And it will melt away your belly fat, the internal belly fat, and that are around the organs, and the intramuscular fat. So you're going to get that lean definition. So if you've been, working on losing those few pounds that you've gained this last year, and you're still having this little paunch over the belly, that's the belly fat. That's what I call the extra coating, the buttery outer coating. So that is different. That's not going to go away with Emsculpt. You're going to get the muscles underneath and the muscles inside. So if you have a very taut belly and you don't have that extra buttery outer coating, it's going to help with that visceral fat and then the definition. But you're going to need, as they've always say, abs are made in the kitchen, so you need a good diet. So that'll build up your muscles, right? Build them up. Now, if you want to lose that buttery outer coating, and let's just say that you have, what is that called, that little muffin top, or that little flubber bubble from, pregnancy, or just that you've lost some weight, and now you have saggy skin. Well, that's a different issue. So let's just say you have that little buttery outer coating that just stay in there, right? And you really don't want to lose much more weight, but you just want to lose a focused area. So if you have the love handles, or you've got the, like a banana roll down by the butt, or the belly muffin top. So that you can do with Exilis, which is also, it's a radio frequency, and it is, will help melt away the fat permanently, the buttery outer coating. So this is not developing muscles. So Emsculpt is to develop the muscles, maintain the core, and keep your metabolism up and having good strength. And then if you're having that extra little bit of fat around the belly, around the love handles, and you want to just have focused, or if you had cool sculpting and you notice it was a little lumpy, not smooth, we can smooth it out, because it's a hand-held device that I utilize, and it's not just a fixed area. So I think Cool Sculpt is a fixed area, so you have these little patches, but this is, you melt away the fat. So if you love the heat and you like getting in the hot tub, it's just the exact opposite. You step into the hot tub and it feels really hot. Well, we're going to be doing that from starting from very comfortable and then getting up to that point where you just feel like it's very hot. So you're not getting burned, but it's going to feel that, just like when you step into the hot tub where it feels uncomfortable because it's too hot, and then you get used to it. Right? So it stimulates the growth and it will melt the fat. So depending on the setting size, put it at, we will melt away the fat, and then your lymphatics. So you have to stay hydrated, you have to move, you have to get the lymphatics going and drain all of that out. So you want to stay hydrated. So that is what Exilis does in terms of the buttery outer coating. So if you have a combination of, you want to get core strength and you want just toned, and you have just a little bit of extra weight, we can melt that buttery outer coating, and you're going to get rid of the visceral fat on the internal and between the muscles. Now, what is it if you have a little bit of sagginess? Let's say that the years have gotten by and you're just, you've got the jowls, the loose neck here, or the knees are kind of getting wrinkly, and let's say you have the little flubber bubble from pregnancy and it's just not that tight. Exilis is also going to be your friend. It's my magic tool. It's my secret that, is to keep the skin tightened. And again, after the age of 18, we lose 1% of collagen per year. So if you are Caucasian, you start off with less collagen. And as you know, African Americans, they have more collagen. So that's why the aging process is different. And then Asians are right in between there. We have a little more than the on this spectrum and less on that spectrum. But so if you're going to, if you start off with less and you're losing 1%, you have less collagen. So you want to maintain the collagen. You want to do it by diet, and you want to support the growth and stimulation of collagen. So anything that can stimulate that growth and keeping the volume and keeping the tightness and keeping the elasticity, because as your skin dries out, as you lose the elasticity, as you lose the the suppleness of the skin, you get wrinkles and you get the sagginess. So my tool to combat that is the Exilis 360 Ultra. And what it does is it tightens the skin, stimulates the collagen growth. It's very natural, so you age more gracefully. So if you start in your late 20s, you're going to maintain it because you're not going to lose as much collagen as you would have if you don't do something. Now, if you haven't done anything and you're starting in your 40s, 50s, 60s, you may need to do a minimum of 4 to restore it. So depending on how much collagen you had, how much collagen you've lost, how much sun, how much alcohol, how much smoking, all of that is factors that will dehydrate and lose the suppleness of your skin. So you want to keep that suppleness there. And when you have the suppleness, you have less wrinkles. So when you restore it, you're going to need less neuromodulators, which are the Xeomin or the Botox. And I like Xeomin because it's a cleaner product, doesn't have the protein in it that can cause immunogenicity. So I recommend that. And I'm having a special on that right now. So if you want to get on that, you can do that. So the Exilis tightens up the skin, and we can try to restore it. So I've had lid lag, and I tighten up the eyes. People don't even think about it. This skin here gets saggy. You want to tighten that up. The jowls, the neck, as I said, the knees. You can tighten up the whole body. So the belly is one area too. So I combined the Emsculpt with the Exilis because when you tighten it up and then you notice that your skin's not as tight, you've got the muscle, but you want the skin tighter, then you can tighten up the muscle right around the belly and get that definition. Another question people have been asking me is, how long these treatments last? Well, they're not it's opposite of the fillers and the neuromodulators and all of the aesthetics things that I do because I'm doing preventative medicine, preventative aesthetics. So it's not where you're going to come in and you have instant gratification. Mine is much more of a protection and prevention and being proactive. So you will see it gradually over time. So you may not see it every day because every day you're looking in the mirror. You're not noticing the change. But if somebody hasn't seen you in 6 months or a year and they'll see you and they'll say, wow, what have you done? You seem more rested, you seem younger, all of these things. So it's going to be more of those reunions type things when people are going to say, wow, but as someone who sees you daily, you may not notice the change gradually. And it's about 12 weeks you're going to see the gradual change. And so you're going to have a buildup from the time that you do it. So when you start earlier, you may have to do it less often. When you start later, you may have to do it more often in terms of Exilis. So that's going to be average every 3 weeks or so, 2 to 4 weeks. And it lasts as long as in terms of your aging process. So if you are someone who ages more rapidly, so just because of your lifestyle, you don't get enough sleep, you have high stress, you use stimulants, you're using, smoking, a lot more drinking, all of these things, you know that it's going to age you more rapidly. So you may need more treatments more often versus someone who gets enough sleep, doesn't have any stress, eats a lot of greens, all of these things, doesn't smoke, occasionally drinks, alcohol. So it just depends. And so all of that matters in terms of also your genetics and how well you detoxify and how well you process things and a combination of that. So it'll be a combination of your genetics with it, your lifestyle, and then how much you'll need it. And how long do the Emsculpt last? Well, I mean, Emsculpt, it builds up the muscle, so it's going to have you build muscles up. But if you just end up being a couch potato, they're not going to last. Right? You still have to exercise, you still need your cardiovascular, and you still need to use those muscles. Once you develop those muscles, you need to use them. If you want to keep them at that same bodybuilder development stage, you're going to have to keep training, and you may come in for maintenance every now and then. And again, it just depends on what is your aging process. So if you are still in the development stage where you're still growing and developing, you're going to see a bigger growth, right? If you are in the rapid aging process, you're going to need more treatments. Hopefully that explains that. So in the Emsculpt, you do 4 treatments and 2 twice a week. And then the rest is up to you in terms of how much you want. So it's just like a bodybuilder. Are they going to go to, work with the 10 pounds and the 20 pounds and the 30 pounds, the 40 pounds? Are they going to bench punch 100 pounds, 200 pounds? How much more do they want? So it's a development. So it's to each your own, right? On what you want. For me, I want you to have good, strong core so that you keep a healthy balance, so that you can prevent back pain and prevent falls. So that's my focus on that. And anything with the knees, I think strong quads are important because a lot of people have knee problems as they start to use. They wear the cartilage, so taking collagen and keeping your muscles strong so that it's not using the hinges and not becoming and having a non-inflammatory diet so that you don't end up having arthritis in those areas. And who should avoid these types of treatments? So if you have any metal in your body, per se, because it's going to heat that up. So if you have a pacemaker in your heart, we don't want that. If you have a large hip replacement, that's not going to be a good idea. Pregnancy is always not a good idea. Copper IUDs, and for Emsculpt, any recent surgery. So you want at least 6 to 9 months, let those muscles heal, and then we would go from there. So for Exilis, if we're working on the face, but you had a little metal in your ankle, it's far enough away that wouldn't be a big issue. So I think that answers some of the questions that I have been getting lately about what's Exilis versus Emsculpt. And then you can always come in and we can discuss what treatments you would need. The other thing that I've been getting is that, but I'm healthy. I'm very healthy, and I exercise and I eat right. But I probably would say that I'm a micromanager of that. So I would want details of exactly what do you mean by healthy eating, and what do you really mean by healthy. I think everyone knows about conventional medicine. Right? Conventional medicine, it's more reactive. It's waiting to see if you have any symptoms, waiting to see if the labs have changed, to see if there's any problems. And if there's no problems, doctor says carry on with what you've been doing, and you continue on with your lifestyle until too much weight becomes a problem, or that becomes diabetes, or too much drinking becomes a liver problems, or any of these things. They kind of say, well, you should back off on that, but they're waiting for a disease, and once there's a disease, then they can actually treat you, and then they're looking as early detection for breast cancer, uterine, like the Pap smear, colonoscopy, those are all early detection. They're not preventing disease. They're just finding disease at an early stage so then they can treat it effectively. Whereas what I'm doing is more proactive. So I'm looking for those people who want to be proactive, who are very interested in having data and understanding how their body works and how their cells work, and interested in knowing, are they healthy or not? And so I see myself as the subspecialist to your primary care doctor. And your primary care doctor would utilize me in terms of saying, well, if you want to know how well you are and want to work on wellness, you go see Dr. Anita, because I will give you subjective, objective measures that I will look at to see where you're having symptoms. So if you have headaches or migraines or allergies or indigestion or itchy skin, these to me are not healthy. Right? So those all need to be corrected and looked at and find out what's going on. And I think that when we think about athletes, we think that these are the healthiest people. They look lean and they're muscular and they are athletic and they can do all these feats with their bodies. But an example that I had is this 22-year-old male, and he is an athlete. He's a football player, and he just wanted to improve his times. He just wasn't getting the edge and couldn't figure out. He was just eating what he thought was right thing to do and eating more vegetables, doing this, but it just wasn't. So what I did is I looked at his micronutrients, and at a 22-year-old, you're still developed. You could still be developing a little bit, right? You're developing. And we looked, and he had a high need for vitamin B12 and magnesium. He wasn't getting enough. And these are enzymatic processes. These are cofactors to do pathways. And these are antioxidant functions, and produces energy, it helps detoxification, and methylation, things like this. And that's for B2. And magnesium is involved in greater than 300 metabolic reactions. And so he had such a high need of it and he wasn't getting enough for his cells to do what they need to produce energy production. So once we replaced and gave him the amount of magnesium he needed, he had this extra boost of energy. His times was running, everything had improved. His muscle and nerve conductions, his reflexes, and all of this had a greater signal and had an improvement. So just knowing those little factors can help. So I have, and I really want everyone to be able to have this. So I have a vitality package. This just encompasses it all. So if you kind of want to know your nutrient packages, or how that is, all labs though are separate costs. That goes to the lab. They have a fee for that. And I do utilize specialty labs. So that would be a fee for them. But my vitality packages would encompass being able to have a sculpted body, being leaner, having tighter skin, and also having support on knowing what is the right diet, what is the right lifestyle for you, and wellness. And as I mentioned, I had right now just a little promotion going with the Xeomin. Not that I promote it this much, but if you're interested in it, if you want to go that route before you get your skin tightened and you're starting to see little wrinkles and your skin's not as supple and you want to prevent it, which would be a neuromodulator, I think Xeomin is a better choice. Anyway, so if you wanted to do $99 per month and you get 4 treatments per year, you could share that with a friend, or if you just buy $295 a one-time, and you can get up to 50 units. And that's good to the end of this year, December 31st. The vitality packages I would recommend, because there's so many different ones, and it's just kind of a compilation of everything, and we should find one that can fit for you. If you, as always, if you find these messages useful, please share them, like them, pass them along. And if you would like to have a chat with me, go to my website, which is my name, Anita Wong, MD. So ANITAWANGMD.com, and schedule yourself a complimentary discovery phone call, or a demo. Come in and get a demo of some of these things. And or you can call me at 949-734-0580. And please leave a detailed message because at times I can't get to the phone quick enough. And till next time, please stay safe and well. Thank you for being here.